BLUF Gaming here with a 3-to-3 belt balancer for Factorio 0.15x. Use this design whenever you have 3 belts that don't necessarily have the same amount of items coming in, but you do want to have the same amount coming out. You can put far more in any one of these lanes than the other two, or more in two than the other one, and they'll all come out evenly on the other side. If you're carrying multiple items in the same belt, some in the left and some in the right lane, so long as each one of these has the same items in the left and the right lanes, it will maintain that segregation for you in the outgoing lanes as well. If you want to see how we build this from the ground up and just how it works, I'll be right back with the details. Okay engineers, let's go ahead and build this from the ground up so we understand just how it works. We have our 3 incoming lanes, and we're going to go ahead and split those so that we can start the balancing. So we have 1/3 going into each of these of our total load, and we're going to go ahead and send up this belt to the outgoing lanes. So just from these two, we have 1/3 going here and 1/3 going to wherever this goes. This 1/3 comes up and we get 1/6 and 1/6. Okay, let's see if we can get a 3rd lane 1/6. That way we'll go ahead and be balanced on half of the total load. So we're going to split this and send it through with an underground belt. So now, remember we had 2/3 coming in, 1/3 goes this way, 1/6 and 1/6. The other 1/3 goes into this one. So 1/6 goes here, 1/6 goes here. So now half of our load, 3/6, is evenly distributed amongst these 3 belts. Now the rest, we still need to send up. So let's go ahead and send this one up. And we're using an underground belt so we can send a recycling lane through. So what happens to this initial 1/3? Half of it, 1/6, goes up into this. And then another half, 1/6, goes into here. And now we start dealing with some pretty small amounts. We're looking at 12ths. So rather than go ahead and talk about each 12th and as it continues to recycle and recycle, 24th and 48th and so on, let's watch this in action so we can see and make sure that it actually does give us an even distribution of items on the outside. Okay, I've loaded different amounts into each incoming belt so that we can make sure that we have an even amount coming out. The reason for this is because in a 3-to-3 balancer, just like with a 2-to-2 balancer, well, if we just had 3 straight belts, you still have 3 in and 3 out. And the purpose of a 3-to-3 balancer isn't just to work as belts, it's to take an uneven incoming load and even it out on the other side. As with all of our balancers, when you have different items on the left and the right lanes, it will maintain that segregation in the output lanes. Now I didn't count exactly how many I was sending into it, but it looks like I was lucky enough to choose an even amount. Oh no, I was slightly off. Well, I had 1 too many iron and 1 too few walls, but as you can see, all 3 of the belts got within 1 of each other of the steel plates, and all 3 of the belts got within 1 of each other of the walls. So, what if I tricked you? What if this actually sends in more of the right than the left? Hold tight, I'm going to do it the other way as well. Alright, now I have a heavier load on the left than the right. Let's see how it performs. And just like before, we have an even distribution of all the items we put in. Alright, it's starting to get dark in the world of Factorio, and I know you engineers have a lot of work ahead of you. I hope this 3-to-3 balancer is useful to you. It's quite nice for whenever you're loading up train depots, as they can only accept 6 inserters per car, And as we all know, 6 is divisible by 3, and it's very rare that you have more than 3 belts of a single item that you need to send to the train. So thanks for watching Bottom Line Up Front. I'll be back later this weekend with more videos for you.